Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can't hear you.
Aye, it's such a good vibration. You're such a hot temptation. You just walk right in and take me away. Yeah, yeah. You just walk right in and take me away. Yeah, yeah. Oh, oh,
The subject democracy. The subject democracy.
it's such a good vibration. You're such a hot temptation. You just walk right in and take me away. Yeah, yeah. You just walk right in and take me away. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm very, very excited that everybody is here. Hello, welcome, whether you're watching on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, where else are we? LinkedIn. I'm not sure everywhere that we are, but just want to say welcome. Thank you very, very much for joining us. My name is Tom Lyon, for those of you that don't know me, and I own a company that we used to do digital marketing. We still do some digital marketing, but now we're focused on increasing revenue. And with this coronavirus situation, the way that we're kind of helping out our fellow peers and businesses is every weeknight at 8:30. We're doing a Facebook Live to talk about different business things. So far, we've talked about Facebook ads. The other day, we talked about a couple of different ways just to maximize your revenue. And today, we're actually going to talk. I'm actually going to give you a presentation that we normally do in a group setting. I'm going to kind of go through it with you and explain a little bit about how marketing has changed. And different things that you can do yourself as a small business owner for free or very low cost to get ahead of the game right now, especially if you're a small business who is used to advertising on newspaper, radio, things like that, and you haven't really taken a dive into the world of digital marketing. We're going to go through some of those things for free. And help you out, give you some tips and tools and tricks and things that you can use. Whether you're watching this live, it is 8:30 and it is Wednesday, March 25th. It's 8:30 p.m. If you're watching it live, you can actually leave a comment right on the video, or you can send a text message to 585-648-8955 in the US. 585-648-8955. And we'll be able to answer your questions live on the air right now. If you leave a comment after you're watching this on a repeat, you can still leave a comment. You can still send a text, and we'll answer your question either by responding or on the next daily video. So again, welcome. So why do we do this? We do this for free. It's not even a thing necessarily to generate business, but because I'm a business person, I will make you an offer. If you find that what we're doing for you on this video is helpful and it's something that you could benefit from and you want to talk more, let me know. Check out our website. It's lyonglobal.com. Put a www in front of that right now. Chrome just did this weird update. And for some people that use Chrome, if you don't have the www, doesn't go there. In fact, if you have a website, check yours. I talked to an engineer at Google earlier today, and they said that there was some sort of situation. So anyway, but if you want to have a free consultation, if you get some benefit out of this, go to that website, fill out the information, and we will help you for free. And if you like what we do there, we can talk more. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about. First, we're going to talk about increasing your revenue. Kind of a very simple way to do that in today's climate. And then we're going to get into a slideshow presentation about marketing and how you can do some things and just really understanding, getting a very good understanding of what's going on even before this corona epidemic. I will tell you, today's pajama day. I got some sweatpants and a t-shirt on. So I'm sure a lot of you are home in pajamas as well. One of the cool things about what I do is about 80% of our consulting is done online. So working from home is not something that is new to me. I'm sure it's new to a lot of people, but enjoy it. And I think what's going to come out of this is a lot of people are going to realize that working from home is actually a strategy. It's something that any business can do. So let's talk a little bit. I'm kind of looking at my cheat sheet here too, so we can talk about everything. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the best ways to increase revenue, right? As a small business owner, what you want to do is you want to increase revenue and have less stuff to do, right? Most of us, when we started our businesses, we figured, oh, we'll get everything going. And then once it's to a certain spot where it's going well, we won't have to do a lot. And I think most of us learned very quickly that that is wrong. So let's talk about how to increase revenue. One of the first things we talk to our clients about is, what's your goal? What do you want to do? Do you want to increase by 10%, 20%? Are you looking at quarters? You want to do 10% better this quarter this year than you did in the same quarter last year? What is the goal? The first step we recommend to everybody is actually determining an objective. And I'm going to buzz through these real quick so we can actually get to the meat and potatoes of the live here, so I'm not wasting anybody's time. But after you determine the objective, take a look at what you're currently doing. What are you doing right now? Right? What are you doing right now to get people to your door? A lot of people get sales and marketing confused, and you'll often hear, that somebody is the VP of sales and marketing. They're two different functions. Marketing is all the actions that you take to get people to knock on your door or come in your front door or call you. Sales is what happens after that. I have a significant number of clients that, perhaps their sales processes aren't in place because, we drive traffic to them. We have many, many people, but they're saying, hey, why, what's going on? Why are we not making the sales? We're getting more people. Take a look at your sales process. But anyway, take a look at what you're doing now, both from a marketing and sales perspective, and then find out what does not work. If you don't have any trackers in place, put some trackers in place and figure out what it is that you're doing right now that is not working. And then, of course, follow that up by figuring out what does work and then logically do more of that, right? Do some more of that. Try something new. If there's something that you want to try that's new, go ahead and give it a try. When we work with clients, we recommend different things. So, and then of course you rinse and repeat, right? It's just standard logic, I guess, figure out what works for you and do more of it. But let's talk about the current state of marketing. I'm actually going to share my screen with you. And we're going to go through and do a presentation. Again, if you have questions or comments, feel free to leave them on the live and we will talk about them. Let's see here. I think this is going to share. Yeah, perfect. Cool. Let me get rid of that banner there. That scrolling thing has the number and, of course, pushing or consulting. So let's talk about how marketing has changed. You see this person kind of holding a phone there. Let's talk a little bit about that. So 93% of shoppers now say that they've used online resources before making the decision that, hey, you know what, I want to buy this. And 83% of those people that have actually gone and visited a store say that before they did that, they checked the company out online. So that leaves a lot of us in a position of, oh, wow, I wonder what our online presence looks like. For a lot of us, unfortunately, it's not good. So let's take a look at this. The traditional, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this full screen, get my fat face off there for a minute. If you can make this full screen on your computer, feel free. You'll see it a little better. But the way that people traditionally bought things and still do to some degree is that first there was a stimulus of some kind where they decided, you know what, I'm interested in this, right? I'm interested in buying this. And then what has happened? I kind of skipped ahead there and you see where we're going. But after the stimulus, then there was what's called a first moment of truth. That's where they actually did the exchange with the business and said, you know what, I really like this particular thing. So why don't we check it out? And then there was the second moment of truth. After they do the exchange of goods and services for money, they say, oh, wow, I either love this or I hate it. Good example of this is restaurants, right? You hear about a restaurant somehow, typically it's some sort of piece of advertising. Then you decide to have your first moment of truth. I'm going to give you money in exchange for some food. And then after that, you make a decision about how good it was, right? Oh, this was fantastic. But now there's an extra step in there. The customer behavior has changed. Once somebody finds out about your company, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to take a peek on Google. They're going to Google your business and they're going to say, hey, what does Google have to say about business in general? And then they're going to make that decision to go to the first moment of truth where they take your money, and then the second moment of truth, whether they love or hate what it is that you sold them, right? So there's an extra step in there now that wasn't always there before. Before that middle step, that being able to pick up a phone or a computer and instantly look up a business and instantly check out competitors and check out reviews and things, that wasn't there all the time. You had to rely on word of mouth, friends, family, associates, coworkers to give you advice. Now, all you gotta do is pick up your phone and you can figure it out real quick. We call that the zero moment of truth. Actually, I shouldn't say we call it that. Google calls it that. You've got your first moment of truth and your second moment of truth. But now the moment that somebody decides they want something is that zero moment of truth in between the initial stimulus and that first moment of truth. And now what's interesting, if you look all the way at the end with that second moment of truth, that now affects the zero moment of truth. Because if you go out there and write a review about something, right? And now that comes back and it adds to what's able to be found on that zero moment of truth. That's some pretty intense stuff. So that's some pretty interesting stuff to see. I do see a couple of people popping in and out of the rooms. Please leave a comment, say hello. Let me know that you're here. For those of you that are my current clients or even former clients, some of this may actually be repeat stuff for you. And for that, I apologize. But for those of you that have never seen this before, it's some pretty good stuff. So let's talk about your business. Does your company stand out where people are making the decisions? In other words, if somebody Googles or looks for you online, is your company standing out? Remember that 93% of customers now, and this was done like, I think last year that we finished this and got the stats, so it might even be higher now. 93% of customers now are looking online before they make a decision to make a purchase. Something very, very important. So let's talk about the typical customer journey, right? What does that mean? Now that we're in a situation where people are using these online resources to look for companies before they, decide to make the purchase, let's talk a little bit about that journey, right? So the very first thing that happens is there's some sort of awareness, there's some interest about what it is you're selling. That comes typically from advertising, whether it's social media advertising or email, whatever you have. If you've got YouTube videos out there, some of the more traditional things include television and billboard and online and some newspaper, magazine, and of course, word of mouth stuff, right? So after that first step, then there's findability. Once somebody is aware of your business, can they find you? Right? Are you listed where you need to be listed, whether that's Google, Bing, the big boys, or whether that's something more specific, like can you be found in the GPS system of a Mercedes-Benz, right? Where does that information get pulled from? All very, very good things to know. And there's certain ways that you can get listed on there. Unfortunately, contrary to popular belief, the internet does not know everything about everything, including your business. They don't know your hours. They don't know what exactly you sell. It does its best to figure it out. But unless you're putting something out there to tell it, it does not just know. And then let's talk about reputation, right? Once somebody finds you, right? Once somebody gets interested in you and finds you, and they pull out their phone and they look you up. And again, we're talking about this 0 moment of truth here. Let me pull up my little pointer, make this a little bigger. So this is where we're talking about that 0 moment of truth, right? Right here. So over here, somebody finds out about you. Over here, they find you online. And then the reputation, this is where they're pulling out their phone and they're saying, hey, what does this company look like? What do the reviews look like? What are other people saying about this company? Now, most human beings can determine between a bullshit review and something that's legitimate. Unfortunately, there's trolls out there. We get them all the time. But I think the most reasonable human beings can look at reviews and determine whether it's good or bad. So what's out there for your company right now? Do you have reviews? What about your competitors? Do they have reviews? Do you have a process in place to actively look for reviews? Many do not. And then after that, they go to a conversion point, right? What is the conversion point? For a lot of businesses that are traditional, it's when they walk in or call your company to make that sale. For companies that sell primarily online, that's going to be your website, your app. For hair salons, it might be an online booking. For restaurants, it might be a reservation. They're going to your point of conversion. This is where the sales process is important that I mentioned, because no matter what you do from a marketing perspective, no matter how many people you have banging your door down, if you don't have that sales perspective, on lock and set up correctly, it doesn't matter. You can have 1 million people lining up outside your restaurant, but if you can't serve them or take care of them, it's not going to help you out, right? So after that sale becomes the next part, advocacy. What happens during that sale, right? So I use the restaurant example as the most common one. I'll use that as the most common thread throughout our talk here. If you're a restaurant owner and you're able to get people all the way down this journey, and then they have a meal and it's crappy, that's not going to be good for you, right? You want to make sure that you give them a positive experience, because again, they're going to contribute to that 0 moment of truth that we talked about a couple slides ago. So let's look at some of the channels that actually impact that journey. Of course, you've got social and search advertising, email marketing, YouTube and video ads. Some of the non-traditional things they are the traditional things like TV, billboards. Some people still do billboards, which isn't necessarily a bad idea, but there's ways to kind of combine them with digital that are helpful. And then, of course, search, right? Is your business listed on Google, Bing, the big boys? If somebody goes to Google right now and types in restaurants near me, Are you going to come up? And if you do come up, how close to the top of the list are you? What do your reviews look like? Very important things. And then, of course, the research. When somebody does find you, what are they finding? Right? What do your reviews look like? What do your star ratings look like? Can I see your whole menu online? And then can I order online? Can I make a purchase online? Can I go to an online ordering, order food, etc.? I want to talk about that a little bit right now because it's kind of become an important thing. Hey, I want to give a shout out to one of my friends that just chimed in to say hello. This is Eric. Eric is somebody that I worked with quite some time ago, and he's a fantastic guy. Oh, there's your picture, Eric. Hey, say hi. So I just want to say hey to Eric. Thanks for checking the feed out. And yeah, anybody leaves a comment, by the way, I can pull it. It's a cool little system we're using. It's a great system for producing live web content. So anytime somebody leaves a message or a comment, we can actually pull it right into the screen. But let me talk a little bit back about ordering online, right? We're in the middle of this pandemic, epidemic, whatever you want to call it right now. I don't know the technical term because I'm not a doctor. But there's a lot of companies right now, and some that are clients and some that are calling to be prospective clients that are interested in learning how can I get online to sell my stuff right now? And how can I do that quickly? Luckily, the ability to do that is relatively easy depending on circumstances. However, it's not instant, right? It takes, especially, I have one client who has thousands of items at their retail location and they want to go online quickly. It can be done, but there's some work involved. But the reason that's so important, going back to this, is because if you don't have this conversion point set up, you don't have a website, you don't have a way for people to order from you online, we're talking about the situation, that's problematic, especially right now. Right now, that's a real big deal because you're having to rely on, for some people, they're posting like crazy on their Facebook, which is fine, nothing wrong with that, encourage that. But I think most consumers are getting inundated with all these Facebook ads that or not ads even, just messages that they're less likely to pay attention to them and maybe a little less likely to order because there's so many of them. So that's definitely something you want to keep in mind is the purchase point needs to be set up. You have to have a way to convert somebody from not paying you to paying you all the way down here. And then after the sale, of course, talk about the advocacy. But what happens in these two steps, it's very important that you understand what happens in these two steps is it contributes to the next person's decision. If it's easy for them to order from you, and if after they do that, they have a great experience and they leave a positive review, those are things that are very, very important because without them, none of this matters. Which brings me to something that's kind of interesting we'll talk about. I'm actually going to tell you one way that you can spend your competitor's marketing budget. Maybe it's a little shady, but it works quite well. So let's check it out. So let's talk about marketing for the competition, right? Let's say that you are business B. There's business A up on the top there, and then you are business B. So business A is spending a whole bunch of money on stimulus, so like advertising and billboards and social media and stuff like that. They're spending a lot of money on search. They're making sure that when somebody searches for them online, that they're able to find their profile and it's able to come up. They're even spending money on encouraging people to leave reviews about their company and whatever. But let's say that when they're spending that money, a whole bunch of money, by the way, they're not focusing on the delivery. They're not focusing on providing a good quality experience. So what's going to happen is somebody's going to see that, oh my goodness, they've got bad reviews. Even though they've spent money on advertising, they're listed on Google, and they've asked people the right way to leave reviews, the reviews that are being left are horrible. What's going to happen? They're going to look to the next business, and they're going to find you if it's done right. They're going to look to you. You've got better reviews, and you've got a quick and easy way to make a sale, right? You've got an easy way for them to buy from you, and your reviews look good, and it's an easy process for your customers to leave you a review. So this is an interesting way that you can actually spend your competitors' marketing budget. I think the next slide says something like that. Yeah. The easiest and fastest way to increase your marketing budget is to use your competitors. Let me say that again, and let me bring this in. The easiest and fastest way to increase your marketing budget is to use your competitors. I'm going to go back a slide over here just to kind of show you again what I mean. Company A spending money on those three things, and then when a new customer comes along or potential customer, they see that company's got a whole bunch of shitty reviews. Oh, don't mind the language. That's just how I am. I'm real. Apologies if it offends anybody. I think everything offends everybody. But anyway, company A is great. They're spending money, but then they've got a bunch of shitty reviews. And you've got a couple reviews maybe, but they're great. People are going to come over to your business. That other company just spent a whole bunch of money to basically drive that consumer to your business. So again, the easiest and fastest way to increase your marketing budget is, say it with me, to use your competitors. Cool. So let's talk about where the smartest place is to start. And this has become a topic of conversation among our clients. Actually, I had 2 calls today. People that are very frustrated, people that are confused and not sure, where to go. They've had some ideas before, but they never really did anything because it wasn't such a dire emergent need to be set up online. And it is now. And I think it's important to understand that there are ways to do this, right? But you have to be smart about it because you have to be in a position to make good decisions. As business owners, we have to make good decisions with our money. And sometimes it's not entirely clear, especially if you're not familiar with this whole process. There's a comment from Eric again. What's Eric say? This is great info. If I ever get my dream business going, we will be in touch. Awesome. Very good. Eric, I would be I'm kind of hidden there. That's good though, because it hides my 3rd and 4th chin. Eric, I would be very interested to learn about what that business idea is. As you may or may not know, not only do we do some of this marketing stuff, in fact, it's kind of what we used to do primarily, but we also primarily now what we do is revenue consulting, meaning for businesses that are established, right? You're well on your way. We help you figure out new ways to generate revenue with having less work to do. So that is something that we can definitely help you with. Even if you're just starting out, I would be happy to talk to you a little bit and see if we can't help you. And we do offer, for those of you that are already established, we do offer that 30-minute consultation for free somewhere out there. So Eric, great. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate you joining the call. And yeah, cool. Very good. So let's talk again about where is the smartest place to start for you as a business owner if you were trying to get online. Okay. There's really 3 key focus areas that we like to talk about with our clients. And number 1 is this point of conversion. What is that? That's your website. That's having the ability to sell online, whether it's through your own website, whether it's through a site like Shopify or some of the other websites that are out there that allow e-commerce. Basically, what is the point of contact with your customer where there's an exchange of money for goods and services? Whether those goods and services are tangible, right? You're again using the restaurant analogy, or whether it's services, car repair, online services, similar to what we do, right? How's your website? How's your conversion? When people come to you to make a purchase, what does that look like? One of my pet peeves is spelling and grammar errors, as my current clients know. Is your website spelled correctly? Are there grammar errors that need to be fixed? Does it look like a middle schooler did it, or does it look like it was professionally done? Surprisingly, you can do a really good website for not a lot of money. And then, so what we always recommend to new clients that are looking to get online is getting to this conversion point first, hammering this out, because none of this other stuff is going to matter if the conversion point is basura or garbage, for those of you that don't speak Spanish. If your conversion point is a bunch of hot garbage, none of this other stuff matters, and it's going to be wasted money. Occasionally we have clients that come to us and say, hey, you know what, we really, really, really want to do Facebook ads. Can you help us? Sure. What's your website look like? We'll go to the website and it would literally be a waste of money for them to spend money on Facebook. So we have said no In fact, I just recently, I had to do something that was the first time I've ever done anything. I fired a client. What does that mean? That means that we had a client who wanted us to do the impossible. And even though they were willing to pay us to try, I said, no, it's not fair to you. I ended up firing the client. Anyway, moving forward. So after your conversion rate is taken care of, you want to look at the next important things, which are your reviews, right? First, generating those reviews. And this is kind of a twofold thing. It's your advocacy and your reputation, because how you're going to get your reputation is through your advocacy. Once somebody makes a purchase, what are they saying about your company? And that's going to generate your reviews. And then, of course, just as important, keep in mind, these are both twos here. I like that little red pointer. That's pretty cool, right? These are both twos here. You want to make sure that you're findable online, right? When somebody goes to look up your business or types in restaurants near me or restaurants near whatever, are you findable? Interesting conversation I had with a client about whether they're findable or not. They were not concerned at all with their reputation or with their ability to be found on Google and Bing and the other ones. And I said, why? Why are you not concerned about what happens when somebody searches for you online? And what they said was, well, we have enough of a loyal local customer base that we don't think we need it. Everybody here already knows who we are and they know everything about us. And I said, that is fantastic and good for you. ... But let's take that conversation and set it aside for a minute and come over here. Let's say you are going on vacation and you are taking a vacation to let's not use that. Yeah, let's use that. You're taking a vacation to Little Rock, Arkansas. You've never been there before, nothing. You're planning your vacation, or better yet, you're there already. You moved, you checked into the hotel, and you know what? Gosh darn it, you're hungry. You really want some food. What's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to pick up your phone and you're going to go to Google, maybe Google Maps, and you're going to say, restaurants near me. And you're going to see what comes up. So going back to that other, which side was it on? I don't know. Going back to that other conversation, if you're not there and if your presence there isn't good, you just lost that sale. It's great that the locals know about you. And if you're the type of business who only wants to serve locals and you don't want more revenue, then that's great. But most reasonable logical business owners want to make sure that their findability is taken care of, right? So once you've got this as your first priority, your conversion, your website, whatever your conversion point is, and then you've got your findability and you've got your reputation set up, and there's different ways you can do this. What we usually do is an automated review generator type of deal where every time somebody does business with you, we want you to collect some information from them, and then we'll reach out to them and they'll give you a review or whatever. Then you want to look at awareness, right? That's your advertising piece. That's actually spending money on Facebook ads or other digital ads in order to bring people in to this funnel. I say funnel, it's not really a funnel. It's kind of shaped like a sideways funnel. We like to call it the customer journey. But this is a good way to get people into that process. But if you're a small business owner and you are stuck right now because of what's going on, start with number one. There's a lot of resources out there. If you need some resources on how to do a free website yourself, leave a comment here, schedule one of the free consultation calls that we do. Again, we will not try to sell you anything on that. We will literally give you a half an hour, put together a strategy for your business. And if you get value out of it, great. Maybe we could talk about more, but if not, that's okay too. We are just happy to help you. But there's lots of resources that are out there right now to get you set up with a new website for little to no cost. And then once you do that, we could talk to you about the findability. And believe it or not, a lot of the stuff on the findability is free. A lot of people are, a lot of businesses, myself included, we get calls all the time from people that say, oh, this is Google and we're calling about your Google listing. And if you give us this information, we'll update it for like $500 or whatever. Hey, people, guess what? If you did not know this, I want to bring my face in. It's free to do that. It's 100% free. It doesn't cost you anything other than some knowledge on how to do it. please don't pay anyone to update your Google listing. It's something you can do yourself for free. And the right folks will show you how. And then this is the big one. Once all this is set up, then spend some money on your awareness, right? All right, let's keep going here. So at this point, normally when we do this presentation for groups, we do a peer audit. We would hand out papers and everybody would go to their own websites and look at their own Google listings, and we would do an audit and everybody would get a score based on how well they did, right? So we click on the peer audit. I clicked on that. We don't actually need to go to it. And then, okay, so from there, it identifies what services you need. We don't have to talk about that. So let's talk about some useful tips and tricks for those of you that are kind of struggling with what's going on right now. I think one of the most important things that I could tell you is to do some video, some kind of video. It can be a video that's shot from your phone. In fact, I would encourage that. We do work with a videographer who is fantastic in this local area. Across the nation, we have a couple of other videographers that we work with that are great. But I would actually recommend that you shoot authentic videos, right from your cell phone. I would post them weekly. I think that's something that, if you can do more than weekly, that's great. But at least once a week. And check this out. A lot of people say, you know what, I can't commit to doing videos because it just takes too much time and this, that, and the other. There are free resources out there online that you can look at and learn how to edit videos, very minimally, very basic, for free. But what you could do is take 1 hour a week, shoot one big long video or maybe several small chunks, and then take those videos or that big long video, and put it into that editor, chop it up into several pieces. And now that video, you've got 10, 20 pieces of video that you can use over the course of a week, a month, whatever. Dinner's getting to me. It's very good, by the way. Anyhow, so shoot one long video, split it into multiple clips. If you haven't heard of Rev.com before on the screen there, give it a shot. Rev.com is a company that will add subtitles and captions to your video. Quick little fact for you about video. I'm sure you've done it. I know I have. They say somewhere between 60 to 70% of mobile video viewing is done with it on mute. I believe that. I think that's about accurate. So it's important that you have captions on there. I know you've seen it. You look around at the videos that are out there and you see the captions. Rev.com is a resource where they will caption your videos. And I think it's like $1 a minute and it's done by human beings. So pretty cool. And then talking about video, inform and educate. Don't sell. Don't make everything salesy. Do you want a used car salesman type video? No offense to used car salesman. Or do you want some sort of nice, decent, informational, maybe something funny kind of video? Which would you rather see? And then, of course, do Facebook Lives just like we are. Schedule them so people have a chance to get to them. So talking about that, let's talk about social media management. I want to talk about the difference between social media management and social media advertising. They are two different things. Social media management is actually posting to social media specifically on your business profiles. Social media advertising is paying Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, whoever it is you're paying, LinkedIn, paying them to show your content to people who have not already liked your page. And let me quantify that once again and just clarify that for you. Social media management, or posting a post to your social media page for your business, will only be seen by people who have already liked your Facebook business page. Nobody else will see it unless it's shared, and sometimes not even then. Social media advertising, again, when you're paying money to the big social media companies, they will show your ad, your post, your content outside of the world of the people who already like your page. People outside that world will see it. So that's how you get more customers and get more likes, is by doing the advertising. Several of or actually one client in particular I can think of, insists on only posting. They just post and post and post and post and post on their own page to their own customers, and it doesn't really drive revenue. So anyway, let's talk about some of these social media management tips and tricks. So contest rules. Did you know, it's not very much enforced, but did you know that officially Facebook does not allow contests where you require your users to like, share, and comment? Did you know that? I didn't know that. The key kicker here is the sharing. They don't want people sharing. Liking and commenting you can do, but sharing, they don't like it. So just be aware of that. The 80-20 rule. Social media posts, you should try to keep them to 80% non-salesy and 20% salesy. It's a good mix. So if you're posting 10 posts a week, 8 of those posts should be of a non-sales oriented nature, just, educational, informative, something funny, and 2 of them should be salesy. I also recommend multiple daily posts. The best way to get people to know about your brand is to keep it in front of their face constantly. Apologies to those of you that are sick of seeing Lion Global stuff, but you're watching this right now. And then make sure you're going to all the platforms. Every platform that's relevant to your business is fantastic. There's new ones that have come up. TikTok is actually taking off quite a bit. They're a little pricey to advertise on right now, but they are there. And then most importantly, when you get comments, messages, people leave a review, answer all of them, every single one. Take a minute, just respond to them real quick. Hey, John, thanks so much for the comment. Send. No, it doesn't have to be a big, long, drawn-out thing. Now let's talk about ads, right? We talked about social media management, explaining the difference between management and ads. When you're going to do an ad, make sure that it's targeted. So many people that I talk to are running untargeted ads. And targeting does not just mean geographic. Let me give you an example of the difference between a targeted and an untargeted ad, in my professional opinion. An untargeted ad is where you run something on Facebook and you boost it, or you create an ad and you say, show this to people within 50-mile radius of where the business is. And that's it. It's great, but it's showing it to everybody that might not necessarily be a buyer for your product or service. Let me give you an example of a targeted ad. Let's say you are selling let's say you're selling wedding invitations. I think I used this example yesterday. Why don't you instead say this? Show this ad to, of course, everybody within 150-mile radius of your company between the ages of 18 and 50 that are in the top 5% of income in U.S. households that have changed their Facebook status within the last 60 days from in a relationship to engaged. Did you know you could do that? You can do that, and you can target it very, very specifically. With the services that we offer for our clients, I can target people that are in a specific building at a specific time. One example of how to do that is to, let's say you're, again, a restaurant and you're trying to get people that are going to your competitor, create an ad and only show it to people that are in the restaurant. Say, hey, we see you're in restaurant A. You know what? Next time, why don't you come across the street to restaurant B and we'll give you $5 off your meal. Just show this, whatever, take a screenshot, whatever. So anyway, that's something you can do. So when you're doing targeted ads, figure out who is your customer, who could be your customer, and then spend money. Unfortunately, some people think they're going to get away with doing $25, $50, $100 ads. You can do a little bit with that. If you do something with that, it should be hyper targeted, like very targeted. But most people come to us and ask for help because they've been trying Facebook ads and not getting good results, getting really, really bad results. And check this out. Let me tell you, right now is the time to be doing ads on Facebook because the price is so low because of what's going on. There's a lot of people pulling out. So now is the time. If you're thinking about doing it, now is the time to double down. And then work with an agency. If you can afford to, work with an agency. I tell my clients there's really a dichotomy of making the decision here, right? There are 2 choices that you have as a business owner to be able to make this work. Either A, you have time, you have a lot of time, and with that time, you can learn how to do this. You can put some money into it and a little bit of money and try it. you can learn from the failures and tweak and refine and learn how to do it yourself. If you've got the time to do it and maybe not a lot of money, that's the way to do it. Learn how to do it yourself and do it. It will take time. You should plan, if you want to do it well, you should plan on 20, 30 hours a week for a good 10 weeks learning how to do it. So that maybe if you're a business owner, that it might involve hiring somebody or whatever, but you should learn how to do it. Or you're somebody who has money and you can say, you know what, Tom, this is what I want. These are the results I'm going for. This is what I want. And you can just bang that out. So it's a time versus money situation. But in all instances, I would say if you have the time, definitely learn how to do it. One of the things, too, that I want to point out on here is the 20% text rule. I learned this the hard way when I started doing Facebook advertising. When you're doing an ad on Facebook and Instagram, because they're the same platform, basically, the graphic that you submit, whether it's a graphic, an image, or a video, can only have 20% of it be text. The rest of it has to be an actual graphic video. If it is not, they will reject your ad. So that's something to pay attention to when you're creating an ad. You know, the text part that you type in, of course, can be there, but the graphic that you're putting on the ad has to be less than 20% text. So just something to keep in mind. Moving on here, talking about findability, making sure you're set up on Google. Again, set up your Google My Business. It is free. Doesn't cost you anything. If somebody from somewhere foreign or even domestically has called you and said, oh, give us $500, we'll get at your Google My Business set up, don't pay them. Please don't pay them. If you're going to pay someone to do that, pay me. I won't charge you anywhere near that, but it's something you can and should do yourself. And it's very, very, well, I say easy, but it's easy for me. It's relatively easy for most business owners to set up. And then, of course, update it frequently. What are you posting to it? Make sure you post to it at least, I don't know, once every week, couple a week. You should be good. So yeah, and make sure you're posting. You can post to your Google My Business just like you could post to Facebook or Instagram. You can put ads out there. You can change your business hours. You can list holidays that you're closed. You can set up a way to track your inbound calls, all for free on the Google My Business. So check it out. Directories. These are just other places where you want to make sure your business is able to be found. There's a resource on there. If you Google Moz Local, it will actually check several directories for you and tell you whether your business is listed. If it is not, you can list it, sign up for all those, make sure, even if it seems like the most obscure directory that's out there, you never know who's pulling from it, right? A lot of the GPS systems in cars, I mentioned the Mercedes earlier, they're not pulling from Google because it's too expensive. They're pulling from some of these other third-party directories that you want to make sure you're listed in, right? Cool. All right, moving on to the next one. Reviews. As I mentioned earlier, you want to make sure that you're getting reviews. How can you solicit reviews? Solicit has kind of a bad connotation to it. It sounds like sell. That's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is asking your customers to leave reviews for you. I want to explain a process called review gating. Most companies such as Google and the other companies that are out there do not like this. However, it's very hard to control. It's a way to get positive reviews out there about your company. Here's what I would suggest to get good reviews. Once a week, send out an email. In that email, send it out to everybody that you did business with for that prior week. And say, hey, I know you did business with us this past week. Wanted to know if everything was good. Would you please write back and let us know if everything was good or if there's something we need to work on? They will respond to your email. And if it's good, great. You send them another cut and paste message that says, thank you so much, blah, 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 blah. Would you please go leave a review for us on Google and Facebook? And then you give them links, direct links, so they can go and leave those reviews. If you get an email back that says, oh, no, this sucked, that sucked, you do not send them that link. You respond and say, oh, no, how can we make it better? And you help them fix it. I think that most companies right now just send out one email and says, hey, how was everything? Leave a review. Okay. Don't. Gate your reviews like this if you can. And gating is just the process of making sure that only the good ones get out there. If somebody sees this and they don't like it, feel free to let me know. But it's kind of becoming an industry standard. So give it a shot for yourself. And it's something easy and free you can do. Respond to all reviews immediately. As soon as you get a review, right back. Good, bad, or indifferent, respond to it. And then incentivize reviews. When you send out that second email that says, hey, thanks, I'm glad everything was good. Can you write us a review? Give them something, $5, $10 off, whatever, the next time they visit your store. Okay. Websites, please check your grammar and spelling. Please, please, please. I probably shouldn't do this. I'm not sure if we'll continue doing it. But throughout the week, when I find things on social media that are really just crazy, I've been screenshotting them and then posting them together on Sundays to say, hey, look at this. We take the business names out and everything. But it's just crazy. Keep it professional. Your website is your front door. Would you buy from you? If you were a consumer, would you buy from you? If the answer is no, time to get your website fixed up. You want to be the best in your field. If there are 10 restaurants in your neighborhood, you want to be number one, not only about what it looks like at Curb Appeal, you want to be number one when they pull up websites too. So make sure that you are. Free WYSIWYGs. WYSIWYGs. Say it with me. WYSIWYG. WYSIWYG. What that stands for is what you see is what you get. What I mean by that is this. If you do not have a website, but you would like a website, there's a handful of free, what are called WYSIWYG editors out there. You can create a website for free. It might have some limitations to it, but having something is better than nothing. But just make sure your something is spelled correctly and that things are good there. And then domain name for email. If you're a business and you're sending messages, toddmybusiness142@gmail.com, God bless you, but might be time to get, todd@mybusiness.com. It's relatively inexpensive, and a lot of times people just don't know how to do it. All you do is Google it or ask us or sign up for a free consultation, and we'll do it for you and teach you how to do it for free. And then, of course, there's text collection and marketing. You can do the same thing we talked about with the reviews with texts, or there's also a really cool way that you can collect phone numbers very, very quickly with permission and then blast messages out to them, not often, but once a week maybe. You'd be surprised how well that works. If you want more information on that, let us know. And Cameo is a pretty cool thing. Cameo.com, it's this one right here. If you go there, you can actually get a shout out from a celebrity. And believe it or not, it's very beneficial. That's cost comparison. Let's take a look. We don't want to look at that because I'm not selling you anything. And then, very important. Treat digital marketing as importantly as your phone line, your electricity, and your payroll, because without it, you will lose. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on right now, right? What is the situation right now? Most companies are in a situation where because of this virus, it's just not working. They're losing money, they're laying off people, and they're not sure what's next. So this is the time for me to make an offer, right? If you've gotten any positive benefit out of what I've shown you so far, I would like to tell you about a program that we have where we offer a 200% return on investment guarantee. If it's not for you, it's not for you, and that's fine. But how it works is this. If you sign up at lionglobal.com for a 30-minute strategy session, we will meet with you for free for 30 minutes. During that 30 minutes, we're going to learn about your business, and we're going to come up with a strategy for you to move forward and generate more revenue. That is what we do, right? We increase revenue by giving you less stuff to do. We take stuff off your plate. If you're a business owner, you're probably used to having 50 million plates spinning around in the air. Our job is to take those plates away from you, give you less to do, and increase your revenue. We don't charge a lot for the program. Like I said, we give you the 30 minutes for free. We'll have a conversation. At the end of that call, we'll ask you if you're interested in pursuing, further stuff. If you are, we'll give you the details on that and talk a little bit about how that works. We don't charge a lot for it, but if you do it, we do guarantee the 200% return on investment, or you don't pay us to help you. It's that simple. So most companies find that they've got nothing to lose, especially with the guarantee. So that's something to consider as well. So I guess at this point we're good to go. If you're watching this recorded or live or whatever, feel free to leave a comment or send a message to that text number. That text line does stay open. It's not my personal phone, but it does come into our system, and we can answer your questions here during the next live. If there's something specific you want us to cover for tomorrow, please feel free to leave that as well. We are doing this every day at 8:30 Eastern time. That's 8:30 Eastern time. We're doing a Facebook Live, just talking about business, doing stuff like this. Not sure what tomorrow's topic will be yet, but I'm sure it will be something very interesting. And again, I just want to say thank you very, very much for joining us today. And we'll see you again soon. Stay safe, keep your family safe, stay healthy, and let's stay positive and move forward here. Hope you have a great night. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.